Good day, everyone. So, for today's video, we are going to discuss the chapter 9, which is Unpacking Curriculum Standards and Competences. Unpacking Curriculum Standards and Competences. Curriculum unpacking technically occurs when the intended curriculum is interpreted or translated by the teachers into classroom instruction. It is the connecting process that transpires between curriculum planning and curriculum implementation. Have you ever looked at a standard, local, state, or national, and wondered, what is this? And how am I going to teach it? If so, you're not alone. In the ever-changing world of which standards are we using this year, the work of learning and implementing new standards must often happen quickly. Implementing standards effectively requires teachers to dive deep into the standards to fully understand expectations and make them clear to the students. So, curriculum standards are widely used in the United States and in some countries for their curriculum. In the K 12 curriculum, standards are classified as first, content standards, second, performance standard, third, learning competences. In content standards, it describes the knowledge and skills that students should attain, often called the what of what students should know and be able to do. They indicate the ways of thinking, working, communicating, reasoning, and investigating the important and enduring ideas, concept, issues, dilemmas, and knowledge. So it is all about identify and set the essential knowledge and understanding that should be learned by the students. Second, we have performance standard. Is defined as a management approved expression to specify and quantify performance thresholds, performance requirements, and performance expectations that must be met adeptly to ensure efficient accomplishments of business specific functions. So, when we talk about performance standards, it describes the abilities and skills that learners are expected to demonstrate in relation to the content standards and integration of 21st century skills. Third, we have learning competences, a general statement that describes the use of desired knowledge, skills, behaviors, and abilities. Competences often define specific applied skills and knowledge that enables people to successfully perform specific functions in a work or educational setting. So it is all about refers to the knowledge, skills, and understanding that learners need to demonstrate in every lesson or activity. Steps for unpacking curriculum standards and competences. Step 1. Classify standards as knowledge, skills, and values. Knowledge, facts, information, and skills acquired by a person through experience or education. The theoretical or practical understanding of a subject. So if the learning competency calls for remembering and concept of or as skills, we have also an example of knowledge. First, discuss the different form of government. We have also analyzed the importance of water for living organism. Third, we have Discuss rules in subject verb agreement. And the last one, we have define percentage. Skills are the expertise or talent needed in order to do a job or task. Job skills allow you to do a particular job, and life skills help you through everyday tasks. If the learning competency calls for the learners to demonstrate or apply a skills or a desired behavior. We have also an example of skills. First, calculate cost of production. Second, plan a menu. Third, solve word problems. And the last one, calculate the mean and median. Values. If the learning competency calls for valuing and appreciation, we have also an example of values. First, appreciate various forms of literatures. Second, recognize the importance of cooperation. Third, respect different national symbols of the country. And the last one, appreciate examples of Baroque music. Step 2. Identify the prerequisite knowledge, skills, and values for each learning competency. Sometimes, students are able to apply prerequisite skills in isolation, but they are not proficient enough with those skills to apply them effectively in combination with the other knowledge they are learning in your course. In this case, students may need to strengthen the necessary prerequisite skills, assigning exercises that target not only accuracy but also speed and facility with the prerequisite skills can help. So in addition, it may be useful to assign more complex problems, specifically problems that gradually increase in complexity. So students get practice applying their prerequisite skills in combination. So in identifying the prerequisite knowledge, skills, and values for each learning competency, it also describes changes in material based on the effect of temperature. First, we have solid to liquid, liquid to solid, solid to gas, or liquid to gas. So before the students can actually describe changes in materials based on the effect of temperature, they should be able to do the following. First, describe the temperature as hot or cold. Second, observe the effect of temperature on the materials.
Step 3. Look for the desired skills or behavior in every competency. Identify the most suitable activity for each desirable behavior. So every child or every learner has a different learning style. So we must consider or we must observe on how are we going to reach their desirable behavior. So for example, we have create crafts that can be locally assembled with local materials guided by local traditional techniques. So here the example is they are going to create crafts using recycled materials. So that is one of the way on how they are going to develop their skills and also their behavior. So the desired behavior or skill in this learning competency is for students to create crafts assembled with local materials guided by local traditional techniques. So this could be done through the following activities. So we have lecture workshop, project-based approach. So these activities could be creating crafts or be doing creativity and also being able to develop their behavior. Step 4. Classify learning competencies to determine appropriate assessment tools. This process is based on the works of Glatom. So standard with conventional testing or SAT. These are learning competencies that require traditional assessment tools like quizzes and exams. So we have the examples. Describe the characteristics of sounds. Um, yes, through the use of our hearing. Number two is identify primary colors. The primary colors which are red, blue, and yellow. So those are the primary colors. And then number three, discuss the judicial system in the Philippines. Number four, explain different communication models. So those are the examples of the standard with conventional testing. So this learning competency is used for the students so that they are going to able determine appropriate, especially using the assessment tools. So standards with performance task or SPT, these are learning competencies that require performance task for assessment or authentic assessments. So we have examples. Perform examples of Philippine folk dance. Write an essay about a selected topic. Number three, demonstrate how to dissect an insect. 4. Paint using natural and indigenous materials. So, as you can see, the difference of standard with conventional testing is that using the cognitive part of the when it comes to SCT or standard with conventional testing. So um while in the standards with performance task is they are also using their skills on how they are going to do a particular task. So that is my opinion about that. So here we have examples. Recognize basic human rights of person. Number two, appreciate the role of mathematics in everyday life. 3. Develop healthy eating habits. 4. Respect different cultural practices. So those are the examples of standards with performance task. So now we have the other techniques for unpacking curriculum standards and competencies. So according to Bloom, educational objectives can be categorized into three domains. So we have the knowledge base, skills base, and then affective, which are being used in our lesson plan. We have the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor. So those are other techniques for unpacking curriculum standards and competencies.
According to Bloom, educational objectives can be categorized in three domains. So first is knowledge-based cognitive domain. So it involves knowledge and the development of intellectual skills. So this includes the recall or recognition of specific facts, procedural patterns, and concepts that serve in the development of intellectual abilities and skills. In knowledge-based or cognitive domain, there are six subdomains. So first is creating. Creating can the student build on the lower order skills to create a new product or that is useful. The next is evaluating. So this is the students justify a stand or decision, explain which options are better than others and why. So mo ni siya ang evaluating. Sa analyzing, this is the students distinguish between the different parts and understand how they are connected. Next is applying. This is the students use their knowledge and understand a new context. Next is understanding. So, can student explain the ideas or concept they remembered? So, understanding. Next is the remembering. So, this is if the students can remember the topic or the context. So, the next domain of Bloom's taxonomy is the affective domain. So the affective domain, it involves the feelings, attitudes, and emotions. It also includes the ways in which people deal with external and internal phenomenon, emotionally, such as values, enthusiasm, and motivation. So here, there are 5 subdomains. So first is characterizing, organizing. Third one is characterizing. It is the internalized values. Organizing is the acceptance of different viewpoints. So valuing, it is the giving importance of the information. So the fourth one is responding. That is the inquiry or response. The last one is receiving. So this is the receiving of information. So the third Bloom's taxonomy domain is the psychomotor domain. So from simple to complex. So here, psychomotor domain, so it includes the physical movement, coordination, and use of motor skills. So development of these skills requires practice and is measured in terms of speed, precision, distance, procedure, or techniques in execution. So as you can see in psychomotor domain, the simple to complex. So first is the perception. So it is where the students distinguish or hear or smell or touch. The second one is the set. So it is the approach or the adjustment of students. So the third one is guided response. It is the determine or the discoveries of the students. Next is mechanism. This is complex one. So adjustment. So this is the adjustment, the illustrating, the manipulate. So next is the adaptation. So this is the change or develop or the supply of the students. So the last one is organization. It is where the construction, creating, or producing. So what is Bloom's taxonomy all about? So Bloom's taxonomy is hierarchical. So models used for classification of educational learning objectives. So into level of complexity to specificity. So what is hierarchical? So as you can see sa Bloom's taxonomy, naa siya arrangement in order depende sa iyahang rank, so depende sa iyahang kanang importansya. Next is Fink's taxonomy. So this Fink's taxonomy is significant learning is essential model for faculty to consider as they design their courses and determine their pedagogical approach. So, kani siya, as you can see in the model, it helps to provide a structure that classifies our goals for students. So, it also makes students' learning more personal and directs the organization of the course and the methods we use to ensure that learning and skills building endure. So, as you can see, in the model, there are 6 subdomains, 6 categories. So the first one is foundational knowledge. So it is where the understanding and remembering of information are ideas. As you can see in the next one is the application. So it is the skills or thinking, critical, creative, and practical thinking. So next is the integration. So it is the connecting of ideas, people, or realms of life. Next is the human dimension. So learning, it is where the learning about oneself, learning about the others. So next is the caring, developing new findings or interests or values of the student. So the last one is learning how to learn. So it is becoming a better student inquiring about the subject, self-directing learners. So, Fink's taxonomy is non-hierarchical. So, as you can see in the picture or in the model, is dili siya arranged according to rank or the importance, with each element interacting with one another to stimulate other kinds of learning. So, ang kalahian sa Bloom's taxonomy, ang Bloom's taxonomy is hierarchical model. It is the arrangement or the importance according to rank. Well, ang Fink's taxonomy is non-hierarchical, so dili siya arranged, in which the element with each element interacting with another